flame of Chinese civilization, have ensured the recording of China's history, and have facilitated the handing down of Chinese learning to posterity. With the passage of time, the other three great civilizations faded away to be replaced in Europe by the abrupt rise of the Roman Empire, a distant counterpart of China's Han Empire.
腓尼基有一个非常美丽的公主，名字叫欧罗巴。当时古希腊的主神，也就是雷神，叫宙斯，看上欧罗巴，但是他怎么得到她呢？于是宙斯自己就化身成为一头长着金毛的公牛，渡过海去，劫夺了欧罗巴，把欧罗巴驮在自己的背上，渡海回到古希腊。由此，古希腊和它背后的这片大陆就得到了欧罗巴的名称。后来，人们根据这个传说，认为它暗喻着古希腊的文字和文明是来源于腓尼基。
Phoenicia is derived from a Greek word for purple. From the 13th to 11th centuries BC, around present-day Syria and Lebanon, there flourished a people whose origin is obscure. It is on account of the fact that they wore clothing of a bright purple colour that dazzled even when the garments wore out, that they were known as Phoenicians. The purple-clad merchants of these people devised a simple system of writing consisting of 22 letters based on some of the special characteristics of the cuneiform and hieroglyphic scripts. This Phoenician script became the origin of all alphabetic forms of writing in the world. But why was it the Phoenicians who invented the alphabetic form of writing?
I Fenici sono una popolazione prevalentemente di mercanti. Sono abili mercanti, abili conquistatori, diciamo, di mercati, di coste, che con le loro navi si spostano in tutte le coste del Mediterraneo e dell'Africa settentrionale.
他要做生意，要知道买什么东西啊，有多少钱，有多少够，是吧？是这样子，所以他这很简单的记账。简单的记账呢，他怎么记呢？他用生数字啊，或者是写形字来记不行，他们没有那么高的文化啊，他们就简单的用这个字是写形字里面的生数字里面的这表音的符号拿来写，就这样子你写我写。起初是乱写的，后来慢慢的就变成有规则了，这样子的才产生字母。
Later, the Greeks based their alphabet on that of the Phoenicians, and the Romans in turn formulated the Latin alphabet based on the Greek one. In this way, every independent language obtained the basic means to be recorded in writing. Moreover, in a certain sense, this invention determined the future political framework of the continent of Europe.
字母是语言中的最小单位，理论上能够表达任何一种语言。字母文字有极大的适应性，它与任何一种语言相结合，都可能形成新的文字。正是因为字母文字具有这样的特点，所以字母与欧洲各民族的语言相结合，稍加变革，就形成了今天欧洲这样许许多多的文字。
We can see from this map of 5th century Europe that the boundaries of the Roman Empire stretched from Spain in the west, the British Isles in the north, the northern part of Africa in the south, and through the Middle East as far as the Black Sea in the east. The Latin language, following Rome's military conquests, reached every corner of the Roman Empire. But as a result of the conqueror's dominance, the empire's local languages were greatly weakened, if not destroyed. In the year 392, Emperor Theodosius I made Christianity the official state religion of the Roman Empire. With the power of this religion behind him, Theodosius became the absolute ruler of an empire straddling Europe and Asia. But the era of a unified empire did not last long. 3 years later, Theodosius fell critically ill, and the seemingly boundless Roman Empire faced crises on all sides.
在罗马帝国时期，社会、政治、文化之间的分分合合始终是存在的。作为一个统一的罗马帝国，其实始终试图解决这样的矛盾和冲突，但是看来并不是很成功。那么后来，基督教被定为罗马帝国的国教，其实也是想解决这样的问题。但是呢，不仅基督教并没有能完全弥合罗马社会和政治文化之间的种种差异冲突，甚至基督教教会内部也有很多教义和权力之争。那么这种教义和权力之争，如果向前追溯的话，可能和某种语言的传统有关。
In the Roman Empire at this time, there were two dominant languages, Latin in the west and Greek in the east. In fact, the differences in the Bible's interpretation in these two languages became the root cause of the split between the Christian church in the west and in the east. This being the case, how could the emperor ensure the stability of the empire after his death and the continued rule of his family line? On his deathbed, Theodosius divided the empire into two parts, giving each to one of his two sons. The Latin-speaking part became the Western Roman Empire, while Greek speakers fell under the Eastern Roman Empire.
所以各个国家、我们现在各个地区就利用了这个拉丁文，发展他们自己的语言。虽然保留这个文字，虽然保留一个文化遗产，不过每一个地区慢慢就发展起来他自己的语言。
These linguistic differences aggravated political instability. Although the Bible was the most important, sometimes the only common reading matter across Europe, different forms of speech and the emergence of differences in written alphabets doomed the continent of Europe to division. While the Roman Empire's division into its western and eastern parts was occurring, China was divided into northern and southern entities. In its two relatively independent parts, outstanding figures arose with constant struggles for the throne. Emperors of either Han or nomadic tribes arose and fell in bewildering succession. In the year 386, the nomadic Xianbei, said to originate in the northeast Daxing'an Mountains, set up a kingdom in North China. This is historically known as the Northern Wei. After more than 40 years of campaigning, the Northern Wei succeeded in uniting the whole of northern China. The result was China became divided into two independent political powers, one in the north and one in the south.
这种情况啊，看起来和欧洲 东西罗马分治有非常相似的地方。 南方的汉族政权呢，自然是以汉语为官方语言，而北方的鲜卑族建立的政权呢，没有文字，但他们有语言。作为征服者呢，鲜卑人自然是以本民族的语言为习惯，说鲜卑语为荣。所以，不论从哪个角度来看呢，以往那个庞大的，整体的中华帝国已经不复存在了。
At this time, there appeared no basic difference in the histories of the East and of the West. Yet, from then on, the fates of the European continent and China began to diverge completely. What power drove a divided China towards unity once again? In the spring of the year 495, Northern Wei Emperor Xiaowen issued a decree that stunned the Xianbei nobility. He ordered them to stop using the Xianbei language and instead switch to the standard speech of the Han people of the Central Plains. He admitted, however, it may be difficult for court officials over the age of 30 to make the change, but those under 30 must no longer use the Xianbei tongue. 7 months later, Emperor Xiaowen ordered all the members of the imperial clan to drop their surname Tuoba and adopt Yuan, a Han surname.
鲜卑族已经成为中原的主人。那么在这种情况下面呢，像孝文帝这样的可以说先知先觉的人，他就认识到，如果不抛弃原来一些不适应统治农耕民主的这样习俗，不进行改革的话，那一方面他的统治不能够长久，另一方面呢，他这个民族要会被淘汰。
Opposition arose deep in the imperial palace itself. In 496, during his father's absence on an inspection tour, the crown prince, refusing to change his name or learn Chinese, fled to the old Northern Wei capital, Pingcheng. His plotting to overturn the reforms incensed the emperor. The plot failed. 8 months after his desertion, the crown prince drank poisoned wine sent by his father. He died 10 days short of his 15th birthday. Later, Emperor Xiaowen justified this incident with the 4 characters Da Yi Mie Qin, sacrificing kin for the sake of principle. This ruler with the strength to found a powerful dynasty was unable to create a culture or a script. Yet, for the sake of his country and people, he had sacrificed family. This was the fate of Emperor Xiaowen.
孝文帝他杀太子，实际上他是为了推行他的整个的汉化政策，他是为了北魏的整个国家的利益，为了他的王朝的利益，他才不得不这样做的。
一直到你看清朝，对吧？甚至连一些周边的藩属国家跟中国之间的联系，很大程度上就是同样的文字，所以从这个角度讲呢，孝文帝的改革之所以成功，有一个很重要因素，就他采用了汉字，这样他鲜卑族跟汉族之间，那么一种界限就打破了，特别是政治上面就统一了。
In the spring of 499, Emperor Xiaowen, still aspiring to unite the whole of China under his rule, passed away on an expedition to the south, his ambition unfulfilled. He was only 33 years old. This setback was a harbinger of a new period of division for China. At this time, history offered 2 possibilities for the future. Europe was headed for greater division led by its alphabetical scripts. Yet in China, new hope for unity was brewing amid chaos, as the Chinese writing system was gaining strength to bind together disparate elements. With the square characters as the binding force, unifying the entire country was only a matter of time. The one begets the two begets the three begets the myriad of things. After the 8th century AD, the alphabet invented by the Phoenicians began to split into different versions. During the 14th to 16th centuries cultural renaissance in Europe, the phonetic alphabet was applied to the continent's various languages until there were over 40 types of scripts, eventually giving birth to the different countries on the modern European map. In contrast, from the 8th to the 16th centuries, China was fairly stable. This period saw the Tang, Sung, Yuan and Ming dynasties rise and fall, yet the Chinese characters weaving an unseen magical thread stitched together the heart and spirit of peoples with different languages, different customs and even different blood lineages throughout the vast territory of China, making them all conscious of being Chinese. The US historian L.S. Stavrianos makes this analogy. If a man of the Han dynasty in the 1st century BC could have come back to life in the 8th century AD, he would have found no inconvenience at all. He would have found, in fact, that the Tang dynasty was very similar to the Han dynasty. The people, the language, the Confucian doctrines, the worship of the ancestors, and even the imperial system of government would all have been familiar to him. But if a Roman of the 1st century BC had come back to life in Europe in the 11th, 16th or 19th centuries, he would have been astonished by the changes in language, clothing, religion and new ways of life in what had once been parts of the Roman Empire. This continuity in China was due to the nature of Chinese written characters, which retain in them a special essence of Chinese civilization.
但是我们不能说我们汉字是世界上最优秀的文字。什么叫优秀？就看你的文字形式适合不适合本民族的思维和表达，适合的就是好文字。应该说，对于中国话来说，对于汉语来说，汉字是最好的表达形式。对于拼音文字，对西方国家，那是那种拼音文字，对它是最好的文字。
Eastern ways of thought are made known through the Chinese characters, pictographic, metaphorical, and compound. Such features in its script are also key in passing on Chinese civilization. This brings us to think of one man, the founder of the Qin Empire, China's first feudal dynasty, the first emperor of Qin.
秦始皇做了2件大事，后人永远都记得：一个万里长城，一个统一汉字，统一文字。因为文字统一之后呢，就这个文字，我们这是表意系统的这个汉字，一直延续到现在。尽管语言的发展由于各种原因形成了许多的方言，比方说南方，我们广东、福建这些地方方言很复杂，但是由于有这个汉字在维系着，那么我们这个共同这个主流的这个文化能够不断的绵延下来，延续下来。
In the year 1848, the foundation stone of Chinese studies in the US was published. It was called The Middle Kingdom, a survey of the geography, government, literature, social life, arts and history of the Chinese Empire and its inhabitants. In this work, the father of US Chinese studies, Samuel Wells Williams, drew on his 40 years of experience in China to tell the world the following. If Chinese characters fell into disuse and an alphabetic system were used to write the Chinese dialects, China would cease to exist. The Chinese written characters are the quintessence of Chinese civilization. They are also the carriers through which Chinese civilization has been passed on from generation to generation. The Chinese writing form and civilization exist and thrive alongside each other without the slightest sign of decline.